Let's do the chart review for 4/26/2019. As you can see, we had a nice update in the market. Early on in the pre-market video, I gave a bunch of hints. Hopefully you'll start watching that stuff and be able to take advantage of some of the hints that I gave. Even in the chart review the previous day, I had talked about some of these levels. I said basically in the pre-market that I thought that there wasn't going to be much resistance here. You can see how fast it kind of traded right through, came right up to the line. I even drew this level right here in pre-market, in the pre-market video, so you can see, you know, even that got hit just as I had kind of indicated. And you can see that it built a base kind of right across the top of this. Ended up finally breaking down after a couple tests. Tested the bottom of the volume node. You know, I keep on saying it over and over in my videos. You know, you test the top of a volume node, and then you break down and you test the bottom of a volume node. And it plays over and over on different scales and time frames. But you can see, you know, we had this volume node, and then we tested down, and then we tested up against it. It failed. We tested the bottom of this node. We're also testing the top of this node. You know, we finally test back into it. We've got this node now. Now we're testing the top of this node right here. Again, we trade back up. We make a little node. We're testing the top of this node. We break structure, and this was pretty much the indicator here that we were probably going to have the rest of the day as an up day right here. Built a little volume cluster, again broke out, another volume cluster, testing the top of this cluster right here. We fall back, test the bottom, go back, test the top, test the bottom, test the top of this one, and it was just kind of gone. And I won't keep on repeating it because it just repeats over and over again. Blue line was basically the open of the market at 7:30, so you can see it was strong into the open. I had actually thought that they would try and push this market up over this in the morning. They just quite couldn't get there. You can see that they did a pretty good try, but they were kind of like late to the game. And another good strong try right here to get up and over. What happens is they want to break above this structure over here and get beyond it, which is what they pretty much did right here, right? So you want to get the market to break, go to the next level, and at that point, you know, you can see way down here on the delta bars that they put a lot of effort into getting through that level. So they like to do it pre-market in order to not have to put as much effort into it, buy as much stock. But they did it here. They have to get away from the node so that they can sell back and then be able to have this, you know, basically support level in order to keep on feeding their stock out, and then they can just basically start buying again and they'll break another level. You can see how this one didn't go as far, and so it was immediately right back into the level. They really like to get it up and away from the level. That way when they sell it back or whatever, they don't, you know, risk breaking structure down to the bottom. It's pretty important to keep the structure kind of going the whole way. I think the levels were pretty good on. You know, you came down. I'm not sure if I would have took that, but when it came back, maybe would have took that right there. Didn't want to take that level because you just tested it, right? This one went a little bit beyond that level, and you'd probably be a little bit concerned by the size of the delta that was actually being pumped in the market on this initial sell-off, that you may have wanted to try and get this level a little bit lower right here. It eventually kind of held right here on top of this. This is like a tiny cluster node right here. Comes back up, taps it. This is a perfect area for a short scalp, and then it just kind of traded in this range because it already kind of tested all this area and chopped through it. You didn't want to take anything here. Down to the next line, perfect. Comes back, hits this level. Not so sure if you want to take that because you just been there. Not sure you want to take that if because you just been there. Definitely looking for the next level here. And when it comes up, and it basically broke right through structure, so there's just nothing you could do. That would have been probably a loser right there. Definitely on this level though, you'd want to get on board, and it came back and tapped this one. I think this level would have been fine just based on the strength that it went through this level right here. You know, it's a lot about a context. You kind of tested it right here, but basically you got a lot of you know, support right there where you've just kind of broken through. Next time through, again, a lot of support. You just broke a little bit lower. You're testing this node right here. Breakthrough. You can see that they certainly did a pushback here. You could have got a scalp out of that right there, for sure. They pushed through. Boom, nice level right here. Good trade all the way back. Chopped around in this area. You could have took this next level because it was right on this support level of this node. You probably could have took this one too if you wanted, you know, if you didn't get that one, and kind of a little bit of a time from the first test to the second test. Goes through this level. You kind of knew that it was going to go through the level because you'd already kind of beaten it up right there. Not so sure. Maybe you take this level right here, but when it reacts before the line and you're not in, you got to let it go through the next time. Hits this level, nice little scalp right there. When it pulls back and gets against this this support level, that was a good trade to let go through. Passes through. Here's the top of the market. You would have got a little bit of a trade there. The bars are definitely bigger than what it appears on the chart because everything's scrunched up, but you could have got out with a nice little scalp right there. On the market symmetry, this first swing down into the market right here, see how it comes back right to the 50, and it gives you pretty much two distinct trading zones. That was a pretty good place, or one to, you know, start to make your first kind of zone. And when you take that and you duplicate it down, it gives you pretty much that target. It gives you that top target. It all lines up. Beautiful symmetry on there. You know, this lines up with this top, this bottom. Again, there was a lot of momentum in this one. It went a little bit beyond, but yeah, it looks pretty good. And then just about there. Just didn't quite make it, but if you without screwing this up too much, take it across. It's not going to be exact because there we go. you can see the level right over here, right? That was another kind of hint. Didn't reach the target, not 100%, from this zone to this zone. But then you get support right here, goes back up, look, nice little test across, boom, breaks out. You can see this line matches up with these, comes back right onto the top of this line. Symmetry is looking really good here at this point. If we just kind of like line that guy up, kind of matches up here with this one right here. Nice little line in between, bisecting all these guys right here. Nice little level. There's always a kind of a, halfway mark in here too, right? It's just level on top of level all the time. You can kind of see how, you can kind of dissect it. You can see how it works. And then basically, I were to stack that guy up, boom, right there, little touch, pull back, right to the top right here. Goes through this guy. I don't think he quite makes it to the top of this one. It was pretty much done at that point. But you can see, certainly was trying to reach that level. But pretty good symmetry in the market. It's a clue, right? I think maybe Darvis boxes or something like that would be kind of what I'm showing here, where it trades from box to box. But just take a look at the delta here, and so big delta right here. You knew somebody was liquidating. Things were still probably pretty negative. Comes back up, and if you match it up here, oops, I screwed that up, didn't I? If you match it up here, you can see when it comes back to the line, you got kind of a trade there. Comes back to the line, you got a trade right there. The moving average is usually pretty good on the delta for lining up kind of where the trade areas are going to be. It's just more confluence on the trade. So this one actually failed right here, but this was, again, this breakout, this really strong delta. You knew that they were buying the market again, and once they get to a certain level or whatever, you can see that this pulled back, got under the moving average and stuff like that. But this just kind of drifted, right? Not quite the same. They basically sold off all that purchasing power. It comes back to this level right here on the chart and on the delta at the same time. Basically, delta's confirming the price action on the chart, and towards the end of the day, it was panic. So we got to get this market up. We got to end the week up and over the previous level. So you can see that they went from 7,000 to 29,000. That was, buy panic, right? We gotta really get over the hump, get over the top, and we're willing to, put everything into it in order to break that structure and make sure that it's positive for the next week trading. Again, the last hour of the day is always usually up, so, and that would have been from right about here, right? Which is where the bars came in. So 1300 right there, all the way to the end. Um, anything else that I can really show you on the chart? Showed you the symmetry, showed you the levels. For next week, going into next week, starting up, we've got a huge volume node right here. Really can't see it coming back and get beyond that. Maybe it does. I don't know. You got a nice volume node here. You got another volume node here. So you've got 3 strong levels. I mean, look at this amount of volume compared to what you kind of had before the days were light. We definitely had good volume, or decent volume, I would say, on this day right here. So 3 strong nodes. They definitely want this market to go higher, and I'm aiming for the 3027 area. So we'll see if it gets there. That's a wrap up for this chart. See you in the morning on Monday.